Christmas dinner without carbs is a challenge in itself. It's all the good things we like in a Christmas dinner, like roast potatoes, Yorkshire puddings, things like that. But we're going to give it our best shot. And this is what we've come up with so far. If you've got any other ideas for recipes, please let me know. Don't forget to comment below. So I saw online that using a turnip for your roast potatoes is a good option. No turnip in the store, so we've got swede, and we're going to try that for our roast potatoes. Like this, into segments, roughly what we'd expect with our roast potatoes, like that. Get that into the water and we're going to boil them through, not so they break up but just so they're softened, ready for roasting. In a swede you're looking at about 9 grams of carbs per 100 grams, so you want to be careful of how much you put that on your plate. Now our next bit of vegetables is sprouts. All good, these sprouts. Now I'm going to put the cross in the bottom here, and I don't know why, but it was one of those things that like parents always used to do, or grandma used to do with helping them cook. So I'll bring them to the boil and then let them simmer. You can probably steam them as well. Don't have a steamer at the moment, so that's what we're doing. That's our vegetables on there for now. Next up, I'm going to do the stuffing. Now, actual stuffing is very carby. What we've got is 2 of these pork chipolatas. 2 of these come in at 1.1 grams of carbs. These are the Tesco Finest Range chipolatas. Make sure when you're buying any sausage you read the back, because some of them are packed, some of them aren't too bad. Split the skins and just take the outer skin off that sausage so it's just the meat. I'm going to knead this up. I'm going to dump some sage and onion pork seasoning in. Originally I looked for some sage and some onion salt, but I couldn't seem to find onion salt anywhere. It seems to have disappeared off all the shelves. So we found this, which is just as good because it's the concoction we wanted in the end anyway. We're quite generous with that. And we're looking at dividing that into 3 equalish parts. Once we've got our 3, we can roll them fully into balls. Next we want our pigs in blankets, key to any Christmas meal for me, and we are using the same chipolata sausages, great for our macros. Each one is going to be half of one of these, so we know this sausage is 1.1 grams per 2 sausages. So if you only have 2 pigs in blankets on your meal, that means 0.5 to 0.6. I like a lot of bacon. You can cut this bacon down a bit if you want, but I'm going to double wrap these in each rasher. There we go. Place them on our baking tray. So we have our meat sides there done on the tray, and then we're going to cook our turkey alongside it. I mean, you can pre-cook any sort of turkey, any turkey you want on Christmas Day, fresh turkey, things like that. All I'm doing for the purpose of this video is we've got these turkey steaks, and what I'm doing for each one, I've got 1.5 of the turkey steaks in there. We've got some spreadable, slightly salted butter. We're just going to brush the top of our steaks with them, like this. Keep a bit of that moisture in there as they bake. We're going to put all this in the oven at 180 degrees for about 25 minutes. We'll be monitoring it throughout because this is all trial and error for us. These stuffing balls might cook a bit quicker, things like that. So obviously keep an eye on it and gauge it the best you can. It's one of the hardest things on there. We're going to attempt to make our Yorkshire puddings based around keto. We're going to drizzle a little bit of extra virgin olive oil into each tray. Okay, and we're going to put that into our preheated oven at 180. It's a fan assisted oven, that is, at 180, so 200 if it's not fan assisted. We're going to pop them in there so the oil starts to get hot as we're making our batter. Okay, Okay, for this we're going to use our blender, so if you've got a food processor or a whisk or anything like that, that's fine as well. First off, into this we want 2 medium eggs, and the last one, it's the difficult one, we just want the egg white. There we go. Done. Now I'm going to take this off here, and for the purposes of what we're doing, you can pre-weigh out your ingredients, but I haven't gone that far ahead. I'm just going to pop my jug on here and zero my scales, and we've got ground almonds or desiccated, however you want to say it, and we're putting 112 grams in there. It's about 4 ounces. Half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 108 grams of your olive oil. So we're going to go off the grams, we've zeroed the scale again, and 180 grams of a milk that we can have. So I'm using a soya here, but you can use almond milk, something like that, as long as it's unsweetened. And that should essentially be our batter. So we're going to pop it back on here, give it a mix. And that's hopefully Yorkshire pudding mix that's keto friendly. So when your batter's mixed up, you want to get your tray with your hot oil in, carefully out of the oven. Okay, and quickly transfer your batter and fill each one. Straight back into the oven, 12 to 15 minutes. For the roast potatoes, we can just fill about 2 ml of oil at the bottom of an oven-proof dish, enough to put them all in flat, and put that in the oven, heating up the oil ready. Now the gravy, the same with a lot of things, make sure you're checking the back for the ingredients and what's in it. So this is quite a low carb one. There is some that have a lot in, there's some that have next to none in, so just make sure you're checking whichever gravy you're using or stock for the carbs on that. We're going to use the water that we've been using here. When our swede or roast potatoes are boiled up to the point where they're just starting to break and they're soft all the way through, if you test with a fork, we take our hot oil out, make sure all the water's fully drained off these, and we're just going to pop them in there. And they can go straight back in the oven until they're crisp all on the outside. So, Merry Christmas! Oh, that didn't work. So that's our Christmas dinner. I will go through the macros for you and add them to the bottom of the screen, hopefully. But in this whole Christmas dinner, there's less than 10 grams of carbs. So there is carbs in it, but compared to what you'd usually be having on a Christmas day, it's next to nothing. And the Yorkshire puddings came out they're soft, they're not as crispy as I'd like for normal Yorkshire puddings, but they are nice, and the almond flour kind of gives them a bit of a sweetness. Thanks for watching, hope it helps. Let me know your keto Christmas recipes in the comments below, and I'll see you all soon. Merry Christmas, bye.